Hello, everybody. This is Real Men Talk Shit, and goddamn, we have an amazing guest who's eating some cereal. So let's say thank you to these sponsors. First off, I would like to say thank you to KT Tape. They make it so I can bob my head around and wave my hands around like the normal New Yorker I am. Obviously, I'm lying because, I'm not wearing it like I normally am, but it's the only way I can live. After neck surgery, I really kind of needed to be able to move my head around to be a normal fucking person. So big thank you to KT Tape and big thank you to Reebok. I don't know about you guys, but my childhood shoes were only Reeboks, and it's what most people had. Everybody loved Reebok, everybody wanted them. So when they gave me an option to have them sponsor me, I threw out the paperwork and got it done. And now they're sponsoring the show again. So if anybody wants to go check out Reebok or KT Tape, there will be links down in the description below. But let's get into this guest because goddamn, this is one of the coolest guests we've gotten so far.
That's very sweet of you.
Hey, I can't lie.
Oh, thanks very much for the lovely intro. Are you going to say who I am?
This is Jeff Leach, or you may know him as Ghost from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Normally, I let the guests intro themselves, but I'll give it to you. Don't worry about it.
Holy shit! You're doing everything back to front. I like this. This is a different approach to the podcast. Yeah, normally I'd be like, hey, listen, join us today is so and so. This is what they've done. Blah blah blah.
Oh, I try and let people intro themselves just because in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to end up forgetting something or I'm going to forget the one thing that they're like most known for. And then I look like a douche by not saying the one thing that everybody's like, oh yeah, I know this person from there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, as you said, I am Jeff Leach and I'm an actor and a comedian, currently playing the character of Ghost in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And we'll be doing so in the remainder of the games in the franchise that Ghost appears in, I hope, including the next one.
That's super awesome. I was actually
I do stand-up comedy
and you off for that.
Various things on TV and stuff. Yeah, I mean, they probably will kill me off. I don't know. Ghost dies in the original franchise, so if they're going to stick to the original story, then, Ghost is going to die. But I've already played the campaign of this new game, and it's very different to Modern Warfare 1 in the original franchise. Some of the main moving parts are similar.
Well, this would be Modern Warfare 2, right?
There's elements of both games in this one, yeah. But for instance, like the character of Alex Echo 3-1 doesn't even appear in the original game. So it's, there are different elements to it already.
Yeah, that story from Modern Warfare 1 completely confused the hell out of me because I thought Alex was actually Soap. And I just thought they're trying to combine everybody.
Everyone thought Alex was Ghost in this one as well. They thought, oh yeah, that's going to be Ghost. It's like, one's English and one's American. What you want about? Mental. And I had to literally convince people. I was like, no, but look at the cast list. I'm definitely Ghost, and Chad Michael Collins is definitely Alex Echo 3-1. So we are 100% different people. Like, it's literally the proof is there. But then, some people still think the world is flat. So what are we going to do?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's also a lot of mental people
that still think Biggie and Tupac are dead.
Of course they're not. They're hanging out in the strip club with Prince, aren't they? And David Bowie.
Exactly. Maybe some Michael Jackson's hanging out there too.
He's out there. He's on a fuck island with a load of kids, probably.
Yeah, probably hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein because we know for sure he killed himself.
Same island. Prince wouldn't be on that island, nor would Bowie. They're all about consensual crazy orgies,
Exactly.
Biggie and Tupac, I don't know. They might be down with a little bit. I mean, like Tupac was a fucking cold gangster. So was Biggie. So, maybe they liked.
Maybe they have a really
like Jeffrey Epstein
that they painted blue and red.
What's that? Sorry?
I said maybe they have a really small island that they decided to paint half blue and half red.
Oh, well, that would be sad, wouldn't it? That even posthumously they would be at each other's throats rather than being. I don't even know if that was real. I think the whole beef might have just been musical pomp and grandeur. I think there's a lot of false character in the rap and hip hop community these days, especially. I mean, back then, when people rapped about being gangsters, they rapped about being gangsters because they were actually gangsters. Whereas now you got these kids going, yeah, I'm a fucking gangster, and then they're snitching to the feds. 2 minutes later, I'm like, well, you're not gangster for shit.
Did you watch his documentary?
No, I saw an advert for it, and I am really in two minds about whether or not I should watch it because one half of me would be intrigued by it, the other half of me loathes what Tekashi 69 represents in so many ways. I just think he's the worst of everything. He's a terrible fucking rapper. He's a great, actually. So that's not true. He's not the worst at everything. He's a wonderful celebrity. He's really good at being a celebrity, but I just don't believe in celebrity or what celebrity means. There are just people who've achieved certain things. Yeah. But then is he, or are people around him? Was he just like a kid with brightly colored haircuts, you know? I think, and some shit face tattoos. I mean, he's not a good rapper, and he's clearly not a gangster because he's a fucking snitch. So I don't know. Interesting. I don't know. That's probably why I haven't watched it yet. I'm in two minds about whether or not it would be something worthwhile. Have you seen it?
So yeah, I was up one night, I think 3 days ago with my daughter.
Well, no spoilers, because I don't want the gender reveal. I don't want to know if he's actually a boy or a girl until the very end of the movie. But yeah, was it entertaining?
For having to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning randomly in the middle of the night, it was better than I expected it to be. And it actually like kind of laid him out in the town he is in New York City, and actually portrayed him as what he is, which I didn't really expect. But at the same time, it was also super, super interesting because they do show the whole negative parts of him, of snitching and stuff like that, which we actually had that conversation on this podcast before when I had a co-host. But like it's super interesting because
what's been happening to your podcast? What's going on? You had a host, you lost the host. You used to introduce the guests, you don't do that anymore. Are you all right? But you got Reebok on side. Fucking hell, mate. Hey. This is an emotional roller coaster for me as a guest.
Hey, in the grand scheme of things, if you want me to just throw my balls on the table, I will. I said fuck way too many times, and my co-host said, you know, I'm too religious for this shit. So he left because
he didn't like your language.
Yeah, even though the name of the podcast is Real Men Talk Shit.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, I hope he's doing better now.
Yeah, I hope so too. He's a good dude. He was on the TV show 60 Days In. I don't know if you watched that. He was in season 5 of 60 Days In.
I have not seen that TV show. What is it?
So they set up a whole bunch of people to go into jail as essentially narcs. They try and figure out what the jail needs to improve on and stuff like that. And he was part of
60 Days In.
60 Days In. 60.
60 Days In TV show.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up, mate. I'm doing my research. See?
Doing your research on the fly.
This is what you would have done if you were going to read out my list of accomplishments. You would have done some research.
No, in all honesty.
All right, let's have a look at. Oh, it's a reality TV series.
Yeah, it's on A&E. I had one of them on. His name's Mark. He came on as a guest first, and then he was on like 1 or 2 episodes.
Volunteers are incarcerated as undercover prisoners for 60 days. That sounds fucking miserable. Yeah. Are they given protection while they're in there?
No protection. You're completely gen pop. You interact with normal people, everything like you normally would.
But you get raped and or killed within the first week, most people.
No, it's actually not that bad.
Depends which prison you're in.
Actually,
they were on fucking Rikers Island. I'm pretty certain.
The 3rd and 4th season were Atlanta's prison. And they're trying to do one in New York City. They just did one, I believe, in Miami County, or one of the counties in Florida around.
How does this like fucking get past? What are the prisons? That is mental. That just highlights how fucking nutso the law and entertainment in this country and celebrity in this country, and also how the prison system is just failing across the fucking board. Because who okays that? Like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's put reality TV wannabes into an actual fucking prison with criminals. Like, that's a stupid idea. That's a really stupid idea.
Well, in season 5, which was the season my co-host was from, they had somebody who ended up slapping a kid. This kid was like 18. Guy who ended up having a shank. A guy who completely blurted out saying that he was a TV show guy. Said that he was a cop in the middle of jail. There was hits put out on them. Yeah, it was super, super interesting.
I mean, I've got a bowl of cereal on the go. I'm ready to watch it, but Do I think that show should ever have been allowed to be made? No. Think of what they could have done. The budget for the TV series was $3 million.
I could do a lot with $3 million. This podcast would be.
I could have written a fucking hit fictional first new writing series, like a really good comedy series.
I could say, Jeff, we pay each of us $500,000 a year to be podcast hosts, and we use the other $2 million to get guests. And I think we would kill it.
Nah, I'm not into that. Fuck podcasts. I'm a bit bored of podcasts. I do streaming, man. And even streaming is laborious and so time intensive. I think there's more fun things to do in the world. However, I do obviously enjoy creating content. So content of any kind, whether it be like a 7-hour broadcast or a 10.5-hour broadcast like I did the other night, or a 1-hour podcast. Of course, those things can be enjoyable, but no, if I had that amount of money, I would not use it to do a fucking podcast. I would absolutely write a movie or one of the TV series I've written. I'd be like, you would do nothing, bro. No, I'd have to create, man. I'd use it to create, but I'd create something beautiful. You know what I mean? Something beautiful. Podcasts are a bit like a dime a dozen now, aren't they?
I think it genuinely is, but I think when you have individual stories that you feel are genuinely unique or at least could help one individual person, which is why I started the show originally, was like, I felt like my story was not necessarily unique, but it had the ability to help somebody or help somebody deal with something that they may feel alone in that situation. Or
so now we're talking about the mental health aspect of what the title Real Men Talk Shit is about, right? Which is meant to be male guests with you and not your co-host, because he didn't like bad language, talking about real things, right? Talking about
just real life, and like everybody has individual experiences and expertise, and I feel
I talk about that quite a lot on my streams, about the about depression and alcoholism, for instance, both of which I suffer from. So I understand the immense value in, especially if you're someone, which I find myself very fortunate and very lucky to be in. Well, not lucky necessarily. I put a lot of hard work in for it, but very fortunate and very grateful to be in a position where I'm getting to do these projects and perform projects that has afforded me some kind of an audience. And that audience, I guess, a small number of which, or maybe a large number, might look up to me and go, great, I want to do what he does, or great, I think he's really talented and I'm into that. And if they see someone that they admire in that way, opening up about their own failings, insecurities, mental health issues that, they have conquered in different ways, that can have an amazing knock-on effect. It's great. It's great.
Exactly.
I've met a couple of people who I idolized or I looked up to, who, who open up to me and it made me go, oh, wow, great. So real, like that.
Breaking the fourth wall. Just before this, I recorded
There was a fourth wall in this podcast as well?
Exactly.
Who's that sponsored by? Fourthwalls.com.
Tostinos, just like Jeff. He's killing the Totino.
Oh, there we go.
Sponsored streams. Go check out Totinos for Jeff. Give him a nice couple clicks. So just before this podcast, about an hour ago, I recorded 2 today because my wife's birthday is this week. So I didn't want to have to record this weekend. I kind of wanted her to have her own weekend and just sit down and relax and chill out.
As you should. She's an angel and a saint, and you should treat her as such.
Exactly.
It's nice treating your partner on their birthday as well, making them feel very loved. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. It's my alarm.
It's all good. Make sure to drink your water. That's what that alarm's for.
I drink a lot of water. No, I'm actually very good at hydrating. I hydrate a lot.
So right before this, do you know the band Red Jumpsuit Apparatus?
I do not. No. I've heard the name, but I've not
They
heard
sing the song
music.
from like 20 years ago, Face Down. Well, I just had the lead singer of that band on this show for coming on and just hanging out.
Okay. Did you introduce him?
The same way I did you.
Bro, I'm going to give you shit for that all the way throughout. Just so you know, that's going to be a callback
It's
multiple more times. You're going to get that at least 4 more times before the end of this podcast.
It's okay. As long as I get it
really
from your
think
fans too. That's all that's fine.
You should definitely start introducing your guests. That would be really good. I think they like it.
I genuinely like when people sell themselves, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that interaction of, hey,
I
You
get
came
that, but
on.
it's uncomfortable.
It is.
We're real men talking shit. Yeah. Real men, let's talk some shit.
It's okay. Go
It
ahead.
feels a little uncomfortable.
Tell me how much of a piece of shit I am. It's all good.
No, you're not a piece of shit in the slightest.
I
I
know.
don't think that about you. I think, though, it's uncomfortable for the guests. First of all, two reasons. One, you didn't prep me. You didn't say, like, hey, by the way, I'm going to say my guest today is, and if you can introduce yourself and do that, that'd be great. But it's like, there's like a feeling of, I don't know, there's something about when you get invited onto something, you feel that sense of, okay, someone has appreciated what I do
Yeah.
or what I create and wants to talk to me and maybe about that or because they enjoy that aspect of what I do, they'd like to hear my opinions on other things, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And then, but when you come on and just go, and my guest today is this cool guy, and then you just leave it, it's like, I'm introducing myself? What the fuck? It feels almost a little bit like you invited someone on, but then didn't really know anything about them or care.
Oh no.
So,
I genuinely I was a top fan for your page for like 2 months. I genuinely enjoy all of your content. I wasn't trying to be a
that's
douche.
very kind of you, man. I
And
appreciate it.
I hope
No,
you
I didn't
understand.
think you were trying to be a douche. I think you're doing something different.
Yeah.
And I respect and admire doing things differently, but I do think an
My
intro
luck is I'll be
lovely.
like, I'm gonna intro everybody. I'm gonna intro everybody, and then I get the person with the alphabet as their last name, and then I'm gonna fail horribly at pronouncing it. Like your name.
Well, you know what you do there is
very
that you
easy.
actually do some research and just check online to make sure you're pronouncing. These are all things that I do as a podcast host as well on my comedy podcast,
Yeah.
Savage Snowflake. I will always like do a bit of research into the guest. My intro, you don't have to get all their credits, but absolutely, it's great to hear, like, you know, my next guest is a comedian, a writer, and an actor who's performed in multiple AAA video games, performs on stage with the likes of Dave Chappelle and Louis C.K. and Chris Rock down at the Comedy Cellar in New York City, where he started here in America. He's hosted many shows on TV back in the UK and has been in multiple films and TV shows. Jeff Leach, ladies and gentlemen, like that. Just what a lovely intro. It makes me feel really valued. And then also for your guests, I guess, as well. Your listeners, I would hope they would find that now they're suddenly 20 million times more interested to know what the fuck I got to say. Because if you just go, who's this guy? I'm going to go like, oh, hi, I'm Jeff. I'm an actor. And they go like, I don't know who fuck Jeff the actor is. I don't give a shit about him.
Jeff,
but if you give the whole resume like that, or at least a nice little intro, it just builds that excitement. So I guess
and I look like a
me
novice,
feeling a little bit.
and I apologize.
I don't know. You're not a novice. Mate, everyone has to do things differently in the way they want to do it. But this is a Real Men Talk Shit podcast, right?
Exactly.
Where we're being open and honest and transparent with one another.
No.
So I thought I would mention it.
That's what's so interesting about the show is I wanted it to feel like we're sitting down on a couch playing some Call of Duty, or we're sitting down on the couch enjoying a beer and just shooting the shit back and forth.
I'm an alcoholic. If I'm sitting down and enjoying a beer with you, then I have fallen off the wagon, and
you're only
take
having
me to a meeting.
seltzer. I will beat your ass, Jeff, if you have a beer in front of me. Don't worry about it.
There we go. He's got my back.
I got you. Don't worry about it. You better keep that chip right in your hand.
Okay, there you go.
I'll give
I
you
actually
a
don't even
seltzer,
have
though.
a chip. You know, I don't even have a chip. My chip was taken off me by by the woman who got me into AA, because I'm California sober, so that means I smoke marijuana, but I don't drink. I don't do any other Class A's or anything like that. You know, I consider myself sober because alcohol was the thing that I had a dependency problem with, whereas marijuana doesn't. I see that as a medicine, if I'm honest, a very healing aid that should be available widely to a lot of people, and CBD even more so, and CBG even more so for people with cancer. Anyway, I own a CBD company, so I have quite a bit of knowledge about the benefits of some of those things.
So let's just state this before we go into this conversation, because I want to go a little deeper into that. Jeff owns a CBD company, just that way everybody knows it's out in the open. So he is going to have a slight bias, but I hope that he's going to tell us all of the truth as openly as he possibly can without opening himself up for legal ramifications. He's a cool guy. We're just having a conversation.
Oh, I'm not worried about what legal ramifications. What's going to happen?
Oh,
is someone going to report me for?
Did you hear the thing that happened with
having
T-Mart
opinions on CBD flower?
Like
it's
a few
just a
years
fucking
ago?
plant.
No.
What's that?
Did you hear the stuff that happened with T-Mart and Syndicate about 4 years ago?
No.
They said that they found a CSGO lottery thing, And because they never disclosed that they owned it or anything like
Oh, but
that,
these motherfuckers going, oh my god, wow, look, I can gamble, I can win all these boxes, and they were
it
yeah, but they were lying to their
I
audience
just protect
and were
everybody.
oh, you don't
Yeah.
need to protect me, mate. I'm like I'm what I literally talk on my stream and go like, hey, get CBD from my CBD company, it's great,
Yeah, but
and
so
like
many people don't even put ad in what they're saying, and then they get removed because of the FCC and all that shit. So,
well, you know what those people are called?
yeah,
Fucking idiots.
yeah, exactly.
Be
But
honest and transparent. Look, listen, if you go through life, and I only started doing this a few years ago. 3 years ago in New York, I tried to kill myself because I was so depressed. I was drinking quite a lot and taking drugs and was very unhappy. And after that, when I failed that, I was like, well, I guess I should live then. And I decided to live very honestly and very truthfully and very transparently in everything that I do. And it has afforded me a very happy life now in a lot of ways. But one of those ways is that I just don't think I'm ever going to, run the risk of being put in a situation like that. Because what I say is what I believe and
oh,
is what's
definitely.
truthful, And that
Exactly.
way, so, but yeah, buy my fucking CBD, cbdper.com. It's great. There you go. I
Exactly.
should be a sponsor of your podcast.
We're gonna have a nice little link down in the description below. Okay, so I know absolutely nothing. I've never used anything before in my life. Just that way I'm being open. So
Oh,
about
what? You mean in terms of drugs or drink?
never used anything. I've drank twice, didn't like it at all.
Wow. That's
So,
great. Is that because of your upbringing? Is that because you just never
well,
you never had the interest or?
as a child, I was told that I was going to be allergic to marijuana. I had a lot of drunks in my family, so that never really interested me, and I like very fruity, sweet things, so the taste didn't really appeal to me. And my family is full of drug addicts. So, as I was getting to, I've always said that I wouldn't be surprised if, just like Oregon just did, the United States legalized, well, decriminalized everything. Because, in the grand scheme of things, them decriminalizing it doesn't make me want to go do it. So, why are we putting people in jail? Let's get them help. So, as somebody who has a business in this, I would like to hear how that business, because right now you're not regulated by the government at this second until it becomes federal.
Oh no,
How,
we are. We are 100% regulated in a very hard way. Also, I sell CBD. I don't sell any THC products, only CBD. So there's no head high. There's no psychoactive elements in it. There's nothing. It doesn't give you any kind of. It doesn't change your mental state in any shape, way, or form. It just calms and relaxes your body and your nervous system, so you can feel less pains if you're arthritic, or if you have Parkinson's disease. It can calm and slow and even stop in some cases, or a lot of cases, the tremors completely to allow you to be able to converse and move normally. It can assist with PTSD for people who maybe serve in the military or have PTSD for other reasons. It has lots of medicinal values, and they've scientifically proven now that CBG, which is a particular strain of CBD found in the more infant stage of the plants,
yeah,
CBG can shrink cancerous tumors. It using it shrinks cancerous tumors. But the reason why none of this is like widely publicized or what everyone knows as the information on it is because of big pharma. There's no
oh, definitely.
reason, for instance, to tell people who suffer from eczema or what's called psoriasis or any painful skin ailment, dry skin ailment, that if they just use raw organic coconut oil as like a little balm morning and night for like a solid couple of weeks, it will clear up most cases that perfectly. And that shit costs like $7 for a giant tub at Costco. Whereas they want to sell you the cream and the pills that cost you $1,000 a month, or your insurance company $1,000 a month,
Yeah.
and you $500 with copay, and they want to get that money out of you. They don't want to fucking give you something natural, cheap, and widely available. And that's the same with marijuana and CBD, in my opinion. But CBD is the infinitely more physically beneficial without any head or mental or changes of state, which is
It
great for
just
people who don't want to get high, but they do want to feel relief, pain
it
relief.
makes me question it so much, and this is just me being completely open and honest, is it seems like so many people want to portray it as a health food, It's like it's the greatest thing
Wait,
given to,
portray what? What? Marijuana?
yeah, marijuana itself, whether it's CBD or any little
Well, no, but
individual
there's a
something.
big difference between those two things. That's like saying, that's like talking about describing whiskey as the same thing as tea. Like both give your body a warm, relaxing feeling from the inside, but one gets you fucked up and the other one doesn't
I
do
think
anything like that.
because they're genuinely the same thing, it's a part of something. That's how I'm
No, they're
comparing.
not. They're not. They're different plants. They're different strains of the plant. It's a different strain of the plant, and it's different. It's a very different plant with incredibly different properties of how
Okay.
it affects you.
So let's make people intelligent because I like doing that.
Mhm.
So what I don't understand is because everybody does portray a lot of this stuff as health food of there's no negative side effects. There's
Oh,
nothing
there's
that
definitely negative side effects to marijuana for certain people. If you are someone who, if you're a drug addict, if getting head highs is something that you are addicted to, then marijuana can absolutely be a gateway to
you
land
are
people doing harder and stronger drugs to get more psychoactive experiences.
you are
Absolutely,
genuinely the
100%.
first person that's gone out of their way, even in the business, to say, hey, that I've heard at least, that says, hey, if you are an active user or you are
Yeah,
dependent,
if you're an addict
you shouldn't
and
be
you
using
smoke
this stuff.
weed, then no. I don't think addicts should be smoking weed. No, I think addicts can absolutely smoke CBD
I wish
because
people,
it would be the same as smoking a cigarette, which most of them seem to do anyway because they need a new fixation, but
yeah,
without any of the harmful things. In fact, they're only doing good things for them inside.
like I just wish
So,
that so many people would actually have a
oh, sorry.
genuine
Let me also say
conversation.
that smoking flower, we do vape cartridges, which even vape cartridges are, they're not harmful to you, but they're more harmful than vaporizers, which is what I use. I use that, and I use my either I use a bag vaporizer where it's like just air,
Yeah,
or it's or the pen, the oil.
yeah,
But I don't smoke the flower anymore because that's got carcinogens. Once you burn something and inhale it, it's going to
yeah.
be
You're not supposed to
carcinogenic.
be
Just like
inhaling things other
no,
than
no.
vape.
But I mean, you are absolutely. See, this is where
Yeah,
I love getting to the science of it. I absolutely think that the human race was absolutely meant to imbibe and has done throughout history. We know this for a
yeah,
fact. It's documented. Psychoactive drugs and marijuana in particular, because you have receptors in your brain that are literally only the only purpose they serve is to process the cannabinoids. That's the only process. And that's grown in you prior to ever trying the drug or anything like that. That is part of your natural brain from birth that grows. It grows with those receptors. Now, that's because we are all of this planet. We are all literally organisms on this planet. We're effectively parasites on a larger organism, draining of it all its good nutrients and all that shit.
yeah. It just depends on what you see as alive and sentient or non-alive in
Yeah,
this
and I'm
sense.
talking in a bigger picture
Yeah,
sense because I am a big picture guy. Ultimately, none of our fucking lives really matter. We are specks of dust on an infinite expanse
no,
of
definitely.
specks of dust in an infinite. And now I'm not saying there isn't a God behind all of that because I can't prove that. It's a valid theory,
No,
but
you're very similar to me, which is why I had you on because you seem very,
yeah,
very intelligent and very able to question things and very able to have those conversations.
thanks, man.
But
But
it's
like I say,
like,
we literally have something in our brains designed only specifically to be stimulated as receptors by cannabinoids.
but aren't those
That
same
and
receptors the same things that interact with, say, sugar or sex or
no,
any
they're
kind
not. They're
of?
not. This is what I'm saying. There are specific receptors in our brains that have serve zero other purpose. Do not react to any of the other stimuli. No caffeine, nothing like that. That is specifically for processing cannabinoids, which to me is a wonderful sign of going, hey, anything that naturally grows on this shit, anything that naturally grows on this planet is probably in some way linked to us because we naturally grow on this shit,
Yeah.
and we're tied to it, and it makes a lot of people feel amazing and heals so many ailments, and I think it's a natural remedy, yes, absolutely, to a lot of people, but I don't think you need the psychoactive head side of it to reap the benefits of it, which is why I believe in CBD. And as THC, I do think if you're an addict, then you are probably skewed a little bit wrong to be utilizing that as a natural medicine.
Oh, I completely agree. And that's why I said I don't think that legalizing everything or decriminalizing it like they have is the incorrect thing to do. even not using any of the stuff, not being interested in any of the stuff, I'm not going to say, hey, sit here and go and try everything because I don't think that's the right way to do something. But I don't think that anybody who would be willing to do or use something at the age of 21 would be going out to do it if they didn't want to do it already. Regardless if it's legal or not, people are going to do it. People are going to use things. People are going to experience things. And whether or
Absolutely.
not
In
it's
fact, a
legal
lot
or
of young
not.
people, if the reason we do lots of things like that, like get drunk when we're with our buddies, when we're, well, I mean, for me, it was like early, like 11, 12, 13, we're getting drunk, you know, but getting drunk with your buddies at a young age or trying alcohol or smoking a joint behind school, it's exciting because you're not meant to do it.
Yeah.
If it was kind of legal and it was very much like a part of society, it was like kids would go like, oh, okay, well, maybe when I get to 18, because it's legal anyway, maybe when I get to 18, I'll try it and, you know, and I'll give it a go because, or maybe if I don't ever have any pains, then I probably won't need to use it. Like it would just become like just a thing, like a fucking tea
Just
bag. It would be
something
like
that's
a tea
known.
bag.
You can go and buy soda or
Well, it,
energy drinks at the store, and just
yeah.
because you know what I'm saying? Like genuinely, I don't
Well,
think
yeah, less
if
people
they legalized it,
would be enticed by something that is more readily available, I think.
I think if you hide those parameters and you make it so that way people that are on government services can't buy them, then bam, you deal with a lot of the situations and problems that we're already genuinely dealing with as a country. Then you don't have all the addicts that are lower income that only want to use and use and use and use. And then the people that need help are going to get help because then taxes and everything else are put into the system.
Well,
It's
first of all,
just,
no addict wants to use and use and use and use. It's a disease of the mind, man. I mean,
oh, definitely.
it's a really shitty thing to have. And because I have it with regards to alcohol, it's really annoying. No one wants to be that way because it's not a good thing to be. It's no one likes it.
Oh, definitely. I
Um,
think I think genuinely it's just that not even a want, it's just a need to have it.
yeah, yeah, which is unfortunate. It's fucking miserable, but you know, they actually say, you know, addicts are allergic to the things. So
Well,
whether it's alcohol or drugs, whatever, which actually I quite like scientifically, that actually carries some weight because the concept is that most people can drink those things without having an unnecessary, constant, willful desire to continue damaging their body with it. Most people can drink it and go, great, I have a couple of drinks, I put my drinks down, and then I don't have to have another six tonight or the whole bottle. Whereas people who are allergic to it, drinking it
just makes you
insidious,
feel gross.
yeah, it has like an insidious toxic change on your personality to make you want to continue putting it inside your body,
So
and
what's
that's to poison yourself, which is kind of ridiculous. And actually,
yeah,
yeah, analogy is almost what that is, you know.
what's crazy if you think about it, and maybe you'll be able to explain this a little better because I haven't really explored this, is so when I was told as a kid that you shouldn't be doing this stuff, I wasn't told, hey, it's bad for you, or hey, you might enjoy it and it'll put you in a bad place in life and sit on the couch and eat potato chips. I was told that, a lot of our family, when they smoke weed, Zach, they want to kill themselves. They have panic attacks. They have severe panic attacks, make them feel like the entire room is watching them and wanting to get them. And then at some point, you pass out and black out.
Oh, shit, that sounds well fun.
And I questioned
Sign me up.
three of my family members. Hey, is this what happened to you? And all of them came up with about the same story. Different people, different
Right, right.
locations. So, what do you think that is?
What do I think that is?
Do you think that was a genuine story? Do you think that was a genuine experience, or do you think it was absolutely
Yeah, I have
bullshit?
no reason to doubt your family members who told you that. I think you know your family members better than I ever will, so you know whether or not they're liars. If you think they're people who tell the truth, then they're
Oh, none
probably
of them tell the truth. I'm just saying from your experiences, have you had an experience like that, or have heard other people's experiences like that?
oh, yeah, I mean, some people don't react well to drugs. I actually always had a really, well, for the most part, a pretty good time on drugs. I just had terrible downers afterwards, you know, withdrawals, and I therefore would end up building quite high tolerances and doing a lot of the drugs a lot of the time to keep myself on that
In that
state of mind.
same space that you
And
wanted
with
to be in at
alcohol
one
as well, I
point.
just like drink a lot. I had a really high tolerance. I drink a lot, and everyone else would be fucked up and passed out, and I'd still be the last guy going. And then the pain. I never took anything to. I never took like fucking. Never even took aspirin when I was hungover. I would just ride it out, drink loads of water, lay in bed, feel that pain, feel that misery, because I almost felt like I deserved the punishment.
Yeah.
And I think that was me trying to push myself towards not drinking anymore. To go like, look how fucking shit you feel all the time. And eventually I just had to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And now I feel wonderful. Life is
I
very...
bet that must be one of the greatest feelings, knowing that you beat all that. You beat your demons. You
Yeah,
you
I mean,
beat
but it's the
attempting
demons.
suicide.
The demons have been calmed and quelled. I mean, they still exist. Like, it doesn't go away just because you have a period of time sober or whatever it is, or or happy and positive. But I think I've like learned. I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. We were having a conversation about where we're heading in lives and what we want to do, and
Yeah.
I just want to continue evolving. I feel like I'm in a more evolved state of myself and form of myself than I was a year ago, or 6 months ago, or 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years. I'm a very different version of myself, and I'm evolving at a much faster rate now. And that means getting better at more things, having a deeper understanding of more things and more people, accepting more things about myself and undoing things I don't think are good. And so I had to be in a state where I was accepting that, oh, I want to be fucking brilliant and inspire others to be brilliant. And
Exactly.
I don't want to feel shit and hate myself. Self-loathing is such a tiring thing to do every day. I did it for years, fucking 34 and a half years at least. I feel like...
And it hits you at the
I've been
most
self-loathing.
inopportune time. I was at the store the other day. I was sitting outside because of fucking COVID, and we were getting some shopping done and stuff like that.
Are you not wait? Are you? Do you think you should be allowed to sit inside even during COVID, or
If I didn't have a baby who has lung problems and was in the NICU, we
you be an
probably would be
anti-masker?
we would probably be. We have to live life as normally as possible. I
But
genuinely...
are you an anti-masker? Do you think that the mask and all that is stupid and it's...
No, I'm waiting to see more information. We all wear
How much
masks.
more information do you need? There's about 230,000 people dead, bro. We
No,
don't need
no,
any
I'm
more
not saying
information.
I'm not saying information like that. I completely agree with them to an extent. I think if I'm outside pumping gas, I live in New York State. I'm told that I have to wear a mask if I'm pumping gas. And I genuinely don't think that that's the right thing. I don't think that saying, "Hey, you
The
can't
right
have..."
thing for whom though? It's just worrying. What if some old lady gets out of her car and you happen to sneeze and she's downwind and that fucking shit goes in her face? You just killed that old lady because you were like, oh, I don't want to wear a mask or gas. Just fucking wear the mask, bro. Here's how I look at it. Like, is this everyone who's a bit? And I know you're not being
Yeah,
overtly anti-mask, so I don't want to
yeah,
mislabel you. You're just saying there's certain situations where you think is a bit overkill, right?
yeah.
I respect your opinion on that. I understand where it's coming from, but you have to just fucking suck that shit up and just go, you know what? There's a chance, however small it might be, that me just not wanting to fucking put myself out by having to stick 2 bits of fucking elastic over my ears for a second. Oh, it's such a big stress for me. But there is a small, however very fractionally marginal it might be, a small, minuscule chance that by being fucking too lazy to do that shit, you could cause the death of someone.
Oh, I
And
know,
that,
which
for
is...
me, is what makes me go, yeah, it's annoying, but I'll put the fucking mask on anytime I'm out and about around any other people, unless I'm hiking on top of a mountain, there's no one around, you know?
Yeah, like it's super interesting because it's like if I didn't have my grandparents in my life, if I didn't have my daughters and my son in my life and my wife in my life, I wouldn't give a fuck. I
I'm my
probably wouldn't
wife
leave the
in my
house.
life. Sorry, it just sounded like a yacht rock song.
Like I personally,
If I didn't have my mom in my life,
I
and
probably
my
wouldn't leave
wife
the
in
house.
my life. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
It's all
And my
good.
daughters and my son as well. And my grandparents too. Okay,
And
sorry.
I dropped my fish.
There it is. He dropped his fish.
My Ford truck died too. My dog left me.
Oh my God. You should write a fucking bluegrass song about it, mate.
Exactly. So,
Ready?
as I was saying, so I got hit really hard sitting in the car, just sitting there. Nothing to do except stew in your thoughts because kids sleeping. And you just fucking get down randomly. Like, I don't know if this is just me or everybody, but this shit just fucks with your mind.
Depression?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What has this got to do with you not putting your mask on at a fucking gas
Oh,
station?
you switched it to a mask conversation. I switched it back to the topic we were talking about
Okay,
because you were
cool.
talking about mental
I
health.
sang a whole song and everything. I improvised
Exactly.
all that shit for your viewers. How many listeners does this podcast have right now? Do you know?
Okay, so on Facebook, I'm receiving in between 20 to 60,000 interactions, but all of those don't translate into viewers.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a pain in the balls. So I'm receiving about in between 1,000 to 2,000 views between
That's
audio
good.
and video. Like
That's solid, man.
I
That's
just want to
solid.
impact people's lives. I just want to help people. I want to
Mm.
enlighten them even a little bit, let them hear different points of view. And it's just hard to
Like, don't wear your mask at the fucking gas station. Vive la revolution. Old people can go fuck themselves. The frogs are turning gay. What's happening, bro?
gay.
There is a little conspiracy theory. Even your fashion is a little bit like you've got a bunker under your house. I
No, I
think
definitely
there's,
don't.
but you
New
wish
York,
you had one though, didn't you?
no.
I do. I wish I had a bunker. I'd love a fucking bunker with some guns in it
I
and some
actually
protective,
had
like in 2 years worth of food and some radioactive suits. I'd love that. I'd love a bunker like that.
like genuinely that sounds fun. But as I was
No, it
saying,
sounds terrifying and miserable, and you would want to fucking kill whoever you're in there with, and God knows if you'd ever survive. Who knows?
no,
Who
I'm saying it
knows? It'd be
sounds
such
fun
an
as
awesome
in
time.
I want to go out to the gun range and hang out.
But we've all played
Yeah.
Fallout, so you know, every single one of us is like, well, it could be pretty cool because I could be the guy who survives in Fallout.
Yeah, you know, the
But none
one
of us
guy.
would be. We'd be
In
dead
all
within
honesty,
6 months tops.
anybody who says that they would live in Fallout times and they're the only human being that doesn't say that they would kill themselves is crazy.
Ah, it'd be so lonely.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you think you would have become in a Fallout-esque dystopian future? What kind of
Are you saying
character?
5% left or are we saying less than that?
What of the population?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 5% of the population. No, less than that. Like Fallout is less than 5%.
Oh,
Fallout
definitely. I'm
is like
saying because there's
less
more people
than
now. So
1% of the people, isn't it?
I couldn't picture there being less than about 4 to 5% of people because there's going to be that one country that doesn't get affected at all.
Right. Okay. All right.
Like
Let's say split the
always.
difference. 3.5.
Yeah.
3.5% of people are left alive. What do you become? What's your new life in the post-apocalyptic world?
I have absolutely no idea. I
Are
think,
you a bandit? I mean, you got a family.
yeah, I think I would try and push myself to the top the best I possibly can and try and reunite people. But I genuinely don't know if I'd be able to do that because I'm quite the asshole.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't even fucking introduce your guests. Boom!
Exactly.
Another callback. I told you, I'm going to keep ribbing you for that.
I don't start a podcast with a bowl of cereal in front of me.
No, I know. I was like too hungry. I was like, I'm just going to eat this fucking cereal. This will be a whole thing. It'll be fun.
Exactly.
Look at him. Is he sipping from his fucking Dr. Pepper? You are a bit of an arsehole. Anyway,
Hey, if
all
you
right,
want
that's
to, you can
good.
come get some.
That's admirable though. I like that you would, try and do that. I hope that I'd probably try and do the same thing. I think I'm a good orator and a good leader.
Yeah.
So I would try and very rapidly unify people and try and expand that out and go, look, we got two options. We either splinter off and everyone starts fucking fighting amongst each other, which is probably what's going to happen, or let's band back together and try and build something out of like a better future where we don't treat each other like cunts.
Yeah, let's
Look
just
how
say
where it's landed us.
houses. Let's just say fuck this individualism.
But there's
screw all
also a
that.
lot of people who just want to watch the fucking world burn. And those people are unleashed on an apocalyptic world with fucking weapons and shit that they can just find now and go and load up. Oh, you best believe there's going to be bandits and fucking raping parties and like just fucking lunatics killing a lot of people.
The worst ones, if you think about it.
And I
Because
could be one of those as well. I don't know.
those people you kind of expect to happen because there's those people online that talk crazy shit all the time. But there's also the people that have mental illness and stuff like that that would end up no longer having their medication and they're
Oh,
schizophrenic or something like that. And
holy
then you got to deal
shit.
with
Yeah,
that
there'd be
too.
some trouble there as well. Yeah. And then you have like cops. They'd be like, oh yeah, it's fucking open season on black people. They'd just be running around shooting
Yeah,
all the black
that's
people in the back of the
exactly
head.
how it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'd be a bit mental. Fucking Ku Klux Klan, all those neo-Nazis would start coming out their bunkers with all their ARs and be like, oh yeah, now's our time, man. It's gonna be terrifying.
And then you have
Fucking
Antifa
hell, I need
burning
to
down
get a
all the
gun.
buildings.
You're making me really aware that I need to get a gun.
You got to
Do
get out of California, buddy.
you live in New York, you probably own a gun.
No, I don't. I live in New York. You said the first half of the sentence and said, oh, yeah, you probably do. No.
Can't you own a gun in New York?
New York is just as bad as California.
Yeah, but you can own a gun.
Oh, you can. But
Yeah.
it's just as bad as California.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm
the
going to get a
mag
gun. I think that's
regulations
what I
are
need
like
to do.
7 rounds.
7 rounds in a mag.
Yeah.
I think it's 10 here in Cali. It's a 10 round mag. And yeah, but you can't have automatic rifles here. It's only semi-auto here. I think in Nevada you can do.
Federal, you're not allowed to have fully automatic.
Oh, really? Federally?
Yeah, there's some states that allow it, like Nevada, and then like a few other ones like
'cause
Texas.
I've shot them in Nevada.
Yeah. Super fun, but not legal.
Oh, just designed to kill like a huge amount of people in a very short period of time. And the same with even with fucking semi-auto. I mean, like,
have you
those guns
heard
kick?
like FPS Russia and stuff? Fully automatic is not the way you would want to go, regardless of anything. Which is super
Right.
funny that people are like, yeah, fully automatic. These things are legal. Most of the time, they're not legal, and most of the time, they wouldn't be the choice anyway.
Yeah. What do you think about the election? The news update on it.
I'm waiting because
Trump administration grants permission to begin the transition process to President-elect Joe Biden. He's had to accept it.
I'm waiting
You're waiting for what?
because they said that they found 300,000 votes that were wrongly tabulated by that Dominion service. Now, do I know? I have no fucking idea, and I'm not going to act like I do. So, as I told my wife, I said, Trump, in the grand scheme of things, keeps what we've had the status quo, and that in the future is better. But Biden, anybody short term is better. Anybody right now, it helps Biden be the president, and anybody in the future, it helps Trump. Would you like me to explain why I think that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I feel like the socialist and more communist ideals of the Democrat Party, the far left, are what's going to explode now if Biden becomes president. Where he is very centrist.
Biden's an old fucking stick in the mud white dude. He doesn't give a shit about being woke. He just wanted to be president.
Do you
That's
honestly
why they
think
ran him.
Biden's going to control anything?
Yeah, oh yeah, he will. Absolutely. Yeah.
Why did he choose Kamala?
Because she's a black woman and she's very fucking good at what she does. So
he could have
wanted
chose
to, like,
Bernie,
someone who's good,
and they would
also
have run the entire country.
No, I know, but no. He wanted Kamala Harris. She's cutthroat as fuck as well. She's like tough. She's done it. She's done the business. Worked her way up bit by bit, and she's fucking excelled. I got a lot of respect for her. So he wanted people to believe in that. Democrats believe in that. He couldn't run Bernie because Bernie is so left that.
Oh, Kamala is too, and
He's been
part
branded,
of the
which
defund
he's
police
not, by
problem.
the way. He's been branded a socialist or a
definitely.
communist, which he's neither of those things. But he has such overtly left wing democratic views that all those people who voted for Joe Biden as a better alternative to Trump, even though they might still actually be Republican, or they're not huge fans of Joe Biden, but they just went, well, I'm a moderate.
That's why I think this
he's a
election
better option than
was
Trump.
so interesting. Was you have so many centrists that kind of split There was Republicans that went Democrat and Democrats that went
But
Republican.
there was still a lot of moderates. People forget about us, the moderates. You know, I'm a
Yeah,
left-leaning moderate. And I think that people forget about how many moderate people there are who go, I think both these parties, first of all, are fucking corrupt.
yeah,
I think both of them are.
I
So
agree.
neither of them has the interest of the American people at their heart or soul. I think there are good people in governance who do have people's interests at heart, but we need to take more of an interest in our political voices and studies and research to actually care about our own politics of our country and other countries. And that way you can change your local governance, and that can change the stage above that and the stage above that, and like the Senate and the fucking the fucking presidency. You
Yeah,
can do that from the ground up. And when more people care about that, that's what would happen. You might end up with a government that isn't really that corrupt. That could be possible.
but I think
However,
the only way to
right
do
now,
that
it's
is if
fucking
you
so far
genuinely
gone.
take money out of everything. You can't
Yeah.
have McDonald's paying millions and millions of dollars.
Oh no, the lobbyists are all fucking. They're the ones who are
And
doing it.
I
Everyone's in
said
a pocket, you know.
I said this I think 2 or 3 episodes ago. Have you ever Googled how much it is to pay for a senator?
No.
It's like $10,000 to $15,000.
Yeah.
It's not anything crazy. It's not anything unrealistic, and that's what's super super
Who's
interesting.
putting that price tag on it though? Who the fuck is getting that
Um,
price tag?
they have to
It ain't
release
that cheap.
the amounts that they're paid for, unless it's in backroom deals like jerking them off and stuff.
What do you mean? They don't get. They're not allowed to take money from these lobbyists.
Uh, you're allowed to receive money for your campaigns and stuff like that, which is mainly
Oh yeah, for the campaigns and
yeah,
things. You're talking about the CEOs of the companies, yeah.
yeah. You're allowed to donate. You're allowed to interact. You're allowed to put forward money. It's just how the money is perceived
It
and
ain't
how the money is
10,000
given.
though, man, because they spend millions and millions on these campaigns, millions of
Yeah, but
dollars.
you have to think how many individual senators are for a country, for a state, and then times that by 50, and then House. You know what I'm saying? There's 100 worth of House, no Senate, and then like 400 in the House. That's 10K each. You're still going into the millions if you look at it that way, because you're going to have 2 to 3 candidates for each seat.
Yeah, but that's what I'm suggesting is it is cost more than millions.
Yeah,
Like $1 million, like $10 million is, which already everything you just described there, the numbers, $5 million would cover that. And $5 million to McDonald's is not a lot of money. It's a very small amount of money.
but $10,000 to a campaign that you work 30 miles is a lot more than what most people would expect.
I just don't think they pay that little to the senators that they bribe and or shit they give, campaigns they donate to. I think they pay a lot more than that. I think we're talking huge amounts of money. But then there's so much money in advertising. It's such a big part of, and being able to sell your wares in any way you like without paying fucking taxes in the country that you live in and operate in.
Well, let's just ship all our money over to Thailand. Let's just ship our money over to Switzerland and say that it's okay.
Yeah, but those loopholes exist because people allow them to exist within the government.
We also allowed major corporations to develop monopolies and regionalize monopolies that completely take over full entire regions and kind
You
of.
are you're in a fucking bunker, aren't you? Right now, I know it. I can
No,
tell.
I'm not. I'm in my living
You're
room with
sitting here in your
my
cameo,
shithole.
in your camo shirt with your bandana tied around your forehead, and you look very cool and very Rambo. And we're talking about conspiracies. He's got a lovely beard, ladies and gentlemen. He's gonna pull out a
It's not
fucking
that
big
lovely.
knife in a minute and be like, "Look at this! I just killed a whole family with this." Anyway, the frogs are gay.
I sell my neck thickening salve as well as my bone broth that makes me extra, extra red.
Someone's tapped into this Discord call, mate. This Zoom call. Tapped in. They're recording it for their purposes.
What's funny is like the first series I did on my YouTube channel, I actually explored conspiracy theories because I found.
Of course you did. I know. I could tell.
No, I like exploring thought. So it's not even like I think all of them are true because I don't. I just like exploring why people think different things. Like even political things, even do you like weed or not? it's super interesting to hear why people would or wouldn't like to do something, especially with their
Sure.
experiences and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, every good storyteller is a great listener.
Only some.
No, there's great storytellers. I think you have to have learned how to listen to be able to learn the skill set or develop skill set to be able to be a great storyteller. A great storyteller. There might be some good storytellers who don't listen very much, but a great one. You have to learn how to listen as well. But I talk so fucking much these days, especially during COVID, as I'm sure you've noticed, dear listener, during this podcast, that it's probably quite hard to get a fucking word in edgeways when I'm speaking, because I'm so used to speaking for anywhere between 5 to 11 hours in one sitting to a TV screen directly into a webcam. Now there's people typing in the chat on the other end on my broadcast, but still it's literally my voice for the whole time and trying to keep
I
constant
wish
entertainment.
my stream kicked off. I genuinely do. If I didn't have a neck injury, it had an opportunity. But I wish it kicked off because it would have been fun.
Mm. Why did what happened to your neck?
Have you ever heard of uh, it's a it's a thing called thoracic outlet syndrome.
Okay.
So the nerves in my neck and in my chest, I ended up having surgery. See, scar,
Right. Yeah.
scar in here too. I had muscles and a rib removed out of my neck and my chest because the muscles were contracting around the nerves, veins, and arteries that go down into my arm.
Oh shit.
So I'd be playing a game of Call of Duty and my entire hand and arm would go numb to the point where I couldn't get it back to having feeling or blood flow in it for like 15, 20 minutes.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Is it better now? Now they removed the rib.
Mildly. It's like 50,
Yo, can you suck your own dick?
No, I can't. The rib that was removed was underneath my collarbone.
Fuck. Worst rib to take. How many people have asked you that question when they know that you've had a rib?
That is the first one. What's
really
crazy actually is there's a deformity.
Can I just say this? I might be
the
the first one to ever ask you that question, but I am not the first one to want to ask you that question.
I wish everybody would because it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, every other fucking dude who's ever spoken to you. I can just say this about all the men. I can't say it's for all the ladies because ladies think a little bit more delicately sometimes than we do. But every man who's ever heard you say, I had a rib removed, just thought, yo, can you suck your own dick?
I guess there was a guy a few months ago that tried to suck his own dick and he ended up breaking his spine and severing a whole bunch of nerves in his back so that way he became paralyzed.
That's hilarious.
Because he seed himself.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I mean, I'm sorry that he's got spinal problems. That's not hilarious. But
how do you try to do something so hard? You paralyze yourself.
I mean, it's magical. It's magical. Well, I'm proud of him. I think
he has more effort than me and you, Jeff, combined.
Yeah.
He tried so hard to do something.
I hope when his spine actually snapped, his torso just sandwiched together and his cock he just deep throated himself. Yes. In that last moment, as his spine, and he's like, oh, and he opens his mouth, oh, and his cock just, and that would have been magical. Anyway, on that note, it's 9:44, my man. We've been on for an hour. I've got to get on and do some other stuff tonight.
And go pick your pictures. And goddamn, we didn't even get to talk streaming or anything like that. You got to come on.
It's your fault. You should have planned out your fucking questions, shouldn't you?
I know I should have. I'm a lazy piece of shit. I fucking apologize.
You should have introduced me at the beginning as
well.
You can outro me. Fucking outro me. Tell him who I am.
This is Real Men Talk Shit. Go check out Jeff Leach. He is a comedian, an actor. He's a live streamer. He sits here and plays Call of Duty every single day of the week.
Amazing. On Facebook, /Jeff Leach Comedian. Come and check it out. At Jeff Leach on all the social medias. What?
He raps. He sings.
He raps. He takes his shirt off on Instagram. Get on there.
He plays with his nips.
Go to my YouTube channel. 5 videos every single week. Highlight videos and comedy videos. YouTube.com/Jeff Leach TV. What else can we plug? Fucking
go check out his
lovely feet. I
all of
looked
our
after him,
sponsors.
no corns, no bunions, none of that shit. Just wonderful, soft, gentle feet. A little bit of hair on the toes, but I'm a man. What are you gonna do? You know?
Oh, my mom told me to shave that shit, and it used to wrap in my socks, and goddamn, that shit hurts. Real shit's been talked. Have a good one. See you fucking next week.